Roger Longman of White Lake Cheese. Brilliant, but you are out and about. Where have we tracked you down? Are you on Bagborough Farm? Tell us a little bit about the scenario that we find you in. There you go. You've got your glasses on, looking very intelligent and very good. Tell us a little bit, about the business. If we've not been there before, what we might expect. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have a glorious day today. A little bit of cloud, but it's nice to finally get some sunshine down here in Somerset. We've had a pretty wet sort of month, but now I think every single farmer is out silage making like crazy at the moment. We don't make silage; we only make hay. But yeah, it's days like this. It's beautiful to wake up in Somerset here. Yeah.
And tell us a bit about what you've got there, the setup, how many people you've got on the books.
So we have sort of 4 people on the farm milking the goats, and then we have, I want to say, 17 people in the cheese room. We're actually just interviewing today for some additional cheese makers as the business is still growing. You know me, I never want to stop. Always developing new cheeses. We got 5 exciting new cheeses just coming out at the moment. So yeah, we're really interested to see what the public, who are our customers, make of it. Just because we like it doesn't mean that everyone else likes it. But I think we're pretty confident. We've done a good job. We've got some new styles of cheese which we're really excited about. And yeah, life is good, to be honest.
Good. I described you earlier on as like the Gandalf of the cheese world, in there inventing and I do think you are touched by cheese making genius. But because not only I know the family started out making quite traditional cheeses, I think it was cheddars, cow's milk, but obviously you've gone way beyond that as well. As an artist, though, is that something you feel that you are always looking for new flavors? That's what you said, but is it something that you think that people are in step with you and we're maybe as experimental as we've ever been in trying cheeses?
I think, yeah. I mean, it's not just us that are constantly developing new cheese. I mean, this is one of the things I love about the Virtual Cheese Awards. I'm seeing, some really interesting stuff of new cheese that I've not come across before. Some firm favourites in there as well. But yeah, I particularly was just watching the last judging the cheese with the hay of it. I know exactly what cheese that is, and it is a gorgeous cheese. And that's there's no rules. And I praise the people that try things different like that. And I think they've created a fantastic cheese. Yeah, I mean, we're always experimenting, developing new stuff, but bizarrely, and you touched on the fact that my parents used to be cheddar and Caerphilly makers years ago. We've actually come full circle on that now. We've actually just started making a goat Caerphilly called King of the Castle, which is being made to the recipe that my parents used, because I met a lady. Yeah, you've got it there. Okay, so that's the lady who 40 years ago, her first job when she left school was making cheese for my parents here. She had a lovely lady called Rose. She actually won the best new cheese at the British Cheese Awards last year. And she came and taught us how to make Caerphilly the way my parents made it. The main difference is this time we're using goat's milk rather than cows. But yeah, we're very, very pleased with it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, lovely, soft. It's got a nice little salty tang on the finish, but it underpins it, but there's still plenty of citrus coming through.
Yeah, and it's that citrus acidic flavour is what we were really looking for in a Caerphilly. It's not an aged Caerphilly. When as a child when we made Caerphilly, we made it and we sold it straight away. It's a young, fresh, hard cheese. There are some great aged Caerphillys out there, but someone's already doing that. We want to do something different, so we're very pleased with that. And I love the fact that it's history coming back around again. Much as I love the new, I love history too, and I love seeing, things repeating themselves.
And what about the name King of the Castle?
So it's King of the Castle. So goats love to be king of the castle. If you ever see goats, they love to be in trees on top of everything. And obviously there's a fantastic castle in Caerphilly, and we have a new king. So there's a three-way homage there, really. So yeah.
During lockdown, it was really important that routes to market, so that farmers didn't have to dry off their stock, so that they could still sell their cheese. Obviously, with goats, you have your own, and what have you. I mean, was that something you were very conscious of? Did you have to pivot your business quite quickly?
Massive. I don't normally get scared, but those first 2 weeks of lockdown, I was properly scared about the state of our business. We were very lucky at the time. We had a great cheesemaker who was actually just getting into web design. So he very quickly created a fantastic little website for us. So we were able to sell direct to consumers. The biggest problem was actually getting boxes to put the cheese in. And we don't do as much of that as we used to, but we still have quite a strong core of people who like to order direct from us. And one of the advantages of doing that is we've got everything in stock. There are very few of our customers, our wholesale customers, who stock our whole range, because we're always adding and there's always new stuff. We're always keen to get our products out there. Come and have a look at what we've got on the website.
Yeah, and because another cheese, we've talked about King of the Castle, but I've got rather beautiful, lovely, smells gorgeous. We haven't got scratch and sniff computers just yet. We will have, but Equinox there.
So that's my new favourite cheese. So we've done Solstice for many years, which is a washed rind cow's cheese, washed in Somerset cider brandy. And we tried washing in a local beer called Equinox several years ago, and it was okay, but it wasn't brilliant. But so last year we experimented washing a goat's cheese and making a new goat's cheese and washing that in the Equinox beer, and the pairing of the two is absolutely perfect. I thought it would be a stronger goaty flavour than it is, but it's the taste and the flavours of it are fantastic, and the texture is that sort of squishiness, but without running away like an overripe brie. So yeah, we're very pleased with that, and I can't wait to try and win some awards with it later in the year. So yeah.
I mean, immediately closed it up. I've got some apple juice from our own orchard actually, and something just to cut through that. You need that, be it a cider or an apple juice, something with that acidity. How long would you age this for?
So we age that for 4 weeks, same as we do with Solstice, and we'll sell it with a sort of 4 to 5 week shelf life on. And we do that so it gives our wholesale customers time to get it into the shops and onto the end consumers. But also we find people like cheeses at different ages. So some people like it, and you saw that some of the judging today, like a brie when it's still quite firm. Other people like a soft cheese when it's very runny. So it's important, and that's one of the advantages of going to a cheese shop, a proper cheese shop. You can see what they've got. They'll let you taste what they've got, and you can find what you want for your particular dinner or whatever. I'm a massive fan of proper cheese shops, and there's been since the pandemic, there's been a real explosion in new cheesemongers, which is a really exciting time to be in the industry, really. And a lot of the people who are running these shops haven't come from a food background. They've come into it because they fed up with lockdown showed them that they didn't need to be working 20 hours a day in an office, and they love food and they're enthused. And we love having people like that come and see us. They're always a bit blown away by what we do. But yeah, it's a really exciting time to be in the industry, and I think again things like the virtual cheese awards really help showcase not just our cheeses but new cheeses to these new cheesemongers. Because how else do they find new products?
Yeah, I think you really nailed it there. I was having a chat with the VCA collective this morning, because we're all in actually the same building but different rooms within it. It's about retail, how retail is really struggling. It was anyway, because a lot of people buying online, and then you throw in a pandemic, doesn't help. But things like cheese and like a good deli, there's still, because as you say, that relationship with your monger, when you go in and you can see cheeses, they can tell you what condition they're in, what they suggest you might have as a cheese board. It's very tactile. It's a very special relationship, and it is so important to develop that. That's one of those where a great cheesemonger, you're never going to beat it. No,
you're not. And there's lots of I'm a big fan of Cheese Academy as well. That's really good at educating not just consumers but actually new cheesemongers on cheese and how to look after a cheese, how to properly glass wrap, cut cheese and things like that, because it makes such a difference to the life and the maturing of a cheese, in a cheese shop. So yeah. We've
got Charlie Turnbull coming on in a minute, actually do some judging, and Bob Farrand and now John Farrand. But Bob, again, these people, from the World Cheese Awards, and obviously virtual here in this case with Sarah and Vicky, it is great. But and on that note, obviously we're out of Europe, so big controversial decision. But are there any shortcuts that have come to you from that? Are there any upsides as far as bureaucratically? Are you able to say to your MPs,
So that's a really interesting. So I had an interview with a French newspaper a couple of months ago now, because they'd heard that British cheesemakers were loving Brexit and it was so great for us and what have you. And I had to say, I have not found one thing that has been good from Brexit, to be honest. As a farmer as well as a cheesemaker, potentially there was the advantages of not the one-size-fits-all European agricultural policy. But we're 6 years down the road and we're still faffing about trying to work out what the government wants us to do. And it's incredibly frustrating. Apparently there was another launch yesterday from Rishi. I haven't seen the detail of it. Hopefully it means they're finally understanding that, British food, not just cheese, but all British food is really important. And, I always have new English cheesemakers come here and talk about what we're doing, what they need to do, etc., etc. And I don't see those cheesemakers as competitors. I see my competitors as being French and Italian cheesemakers, because they're really good. But we'd rather people were buying British cheese. And we see a big move, particularly in restaurants these days, that chefs are saying, we want British cheese. There's enough range of good British cheese now. There's no need to be buying French cheese, good as it is, but we do really good food in this country. Fantastic lamb and things like that. There's no point buying stuff and shipping it across continents and halfway around the world. I was talking to a honey producer this morning, and a lot of the honey we have comes from China, which is ridiculous. So it's not just cheese, it's all English food. And I think people are starting to realise how this whole worldwide food chain works. And is that sustainable? Probably not, no.
Yeah, well, actually stop to think and talk collectively, as British cheese producers, British food and drink producers, as you say. I think it's really, really important. Provenance, traceability, food miles, all the things that you just alluded to.
Absolutely.
You and the team have done a great job getting these cheeses all around the UK to our judges. I mean, that in itself has been, and I know it's you.
I'll take no credit for that. That's purely Sandra's absolutely monstrous amount of hard work. So she's done a tremendous job.
Yeah, Sandra has done. She should be canonized. It's fantastic.
I don't tell her that.
Yeah. It's out. But no, they're really fantastic. And obviously, you've always had a great love of goats, particularly. They're on the farm. And both these two cheeses that I'm trying, King of the Castle and Equinox, are goat's milk cheeses. What is it particularly about those? And would they be if you only had the one animal? It's a terrible image. You should take your desert island with you.
Yeah.
Move on. But be goat. I mean, it's something you've obviously got a great.
Yeah. So we used to milk cows and make cheddar years ago. And I really just fell in love with the inquisitiveness and fun nature of goats and decided I would have a go at farming goats and making cheese. And I still, every day, I go down and see them. And I was down there yesterday because we're kidding at the moment. And there was a lovely tan goat just, sitting there, popping a couple of kids out, turned around, carried it on as if nothing had happened, came over to say hello, almost looked proud of, the kids that she just birthed. And I never get bored of seeing that. That creation of life to me is absolutely one of the miracles and joys of farming. And you see it on all these country file type programs, and it's just I see it every day. Well, not every day, but I see it a lot, and it's never dull. It's always exciting. It's sometimes a little bit scary because things do go wrong. But yeah, that's just one of the joys of living in the countryside and actually day-to-day farming. And we get lots of people come and see our kids. And actually this year we're doing a bit of the sort of farm open day thing. I think it's in June. We're going to be allowing a few people to come in small groups and see the farm, just as an experiment for us to see, is this something we can do more of? Because I think farmers, we have a duty to help people understand what we're doing and the importance of animals to the whole farming cycle.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant that people can come along and down to you. Can they access that if they're interested? Can they go via the website? I mean, do you speak?
It won't be via our website. We're still sort of working out how we're supposed to do it. There's a sort of annual farm day in June. I can't remember what day it is, but yeah, if you keep an eye on our website, then we'll be putting something up about it. We won't be doing many tickets because it's a bit of an experiment. I don't want to get things wrong. So yeah, it'll be like buying Glastonbury tickets. You'll have to be quick.
On that note, you're going to be there, aren't you?
I'm always there. So I mean, White Lake is the river that starts on our farm. It's actually the one that flows through the festival site. I work over there. I don't get free tickets, unfortunately. I used to just drive my tractor in the old days, and that was fine, but not allowed to do that anymore. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Glastonbury is the greatest show on earth. I am a massive fan of Michael, and what he's done in my backyard is just staggering. The frustrating thing is he was influenced by a blues show at the Bath and West, which is right next door to me in the 60s. And I thought, well, he could have done it here. You know, why did he have to do it at his farm? I'd have been, well, Dad probably wouldn't have, but I would have been very happy to have Glastonbury Festival, actually on my farm.
Oh, well, that was Michael and Emily Nevis, fantastic. And what is that the name then that it comes from? It White Lake.
So it's a river that starts on our farm. It's a little spring that comes out in the corner of one of our fields, and it's effectively the head of the river. It's more of a stream with us. But yeah, that's and goat's milk is very white as well. So it was a nice, easy decision rather than Bagborough, which is the name of the farm, sort of thing. And we like, and you'll notice this in the names of our cheeses. We have like Tor, Glastonbury Tor, and Borough Mump, another little church on a hill in Somerset. We like to have names that relate to our area or to the cheese in some way. Yeah,
well, nice. I mean, I could talk to you all day. We've got a few more cheeses to taste, but it's great to chat to you. Yeah, busy day, but nice to see you on Bagborough Farm, and Roger, and look forward to seeing you in person as ever. And
I'm up at Melton Mowbray this weekend at the Artisan Cheese Market. So if you're around, pop in and say hello.
Yeah, absolutely, we will do. And look, check out Equinox, King of the Castle, in amongst them all. Have you ever made, just very quickly, any cheeses from like camel's milk or anything? You've probably done buffalo, but
no, I haven't. I haven't done buffalo. Bizarrely, many years ago, my business partner at the time, Peter, tried to make cheese for a program called Brainiac with human milk. It was not a success.
Right. Yeah, I've had ice creams made from that as well. So
we do get strange requests, definitely.
Yes, I'm sure. On the human's milk cheese, there we go. Yeah. That's the bombshell has been dropped, Roger. As ever, great to see you. The Matinee film god, the silver fox that you are, White Lake cheese. Go and taste it. If you can't meet him in person, taste some of those great cheeses. But thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. And enjoy the sunshine in Somerset. Adieu. Cheers. There you go. The Longman is going into the green room and he's just relaxing. But great. But if you haven't tried their cheeses, please do